found that very interesting, except for Wolverine. I loved where Wolverine be like, he realized he can still pop his claws out, but it hurts. Like us, we don't get him on the ground screaming because his hands, he's the adamantium going through his hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy that part. I enjoy the story itself where Rogue and Gambit finally share a kiss with each other.
Yeah.
How much be like they do mean to each other. And I enjoy that part. I love it where Scott removes his visor or moves his it's a visor, right?
Yeah, it's a visor.
Yeah, removes his visor. You actually see his face because he no longer has an optic blast. I enjoy that. There again, it ties in with be like mutants without powers, just normal human beings, and they know what it means to be vulnerable. And the part I didn't like because they literally just rehash what they did in episode 1, season 2. Or I think it was a two-parter, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it's be like, Mr. Sinister's doing the same song and dance. I've got to get Jean Grey. I've got to get Cyclops because we got to make them, do this dance in order to fulfill some kind of thing he wants to do with mutant kind. It's the same song and dance, and it's Sinister be like doing his Sinister thing. And it just be like it's the final episode is just a rehash of the part 2 from the beginning of the season. And I wish they would have done something a little different, but it's the same song and dance, except they finally defeat Sinister, except he's still gonna come back. We know that.
Yeah.
But it's that same song and dance. So it's they rehash it. And I was kind of like I was disappointed that we did the same song and dance. I wish we would have done something a little different.
Mm-hmm.
But that's part 2. That is my thoughts on parts 1 and 2 of Reunion.
So I am happy we're finally getting at least some wrap up on Magneto and Xavier's romp through the Savage Lands.
Mm-hmm.
Though, like I said last week, it really does feel like that was meant to be a separate episode that they didn't have enough time to money to make an episode on.
I agree.
So that would have been nice to at least have that to help cement that in. Because I swear some of the scenes in the first episodes, previously on X-Men segment, some of those we didn't actually see during the episode.
That's a possibility.
A lot of those felt like they must have been deleted scenes. Because a lot of that I just did not remember happening, which stuff happens. At least we did get to see some of it to help lead us into this episode.
Agreed.
But there was I count a couple of errors, animation errors. One of them, the red diamond on Mr. Sinister's chest, for like half of a scene, it's black, and then it turns red.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like, it was interesting. It's like I'm watching this going, hey, that diamond is supposed to be red, isn't it? Boom, it's red. It's like, thank you for that answer. Mr. Sinister, I don't think is an odd villain. Okay,
he is an odd villain.
I don't really understand. Grant, I have not read the X-Men comics from this era. Or much X-Men comics in general, for being honest. So I really don't know what Mr. Sinister's motivation for I don't really understand what he's doing, what his point is, other than he's experimenting on mutants and trying to make a better mutant, I guess. And that's why taking over what was apparently Magneto's base in the Savage Lands, where he was also experimenting on humans, or on making mutates for whatever reason. That makes sense to some degree, but this was to some degree this was a straightforward episode. It was a rescue op. It somewhat went south, and a lot of it was, I'm stronger than you are. I'm going to weaken. I'm going to take Magneto's strength and make it mine. It's like, will you shut up, lady? Vertigo isn't a very annoying character.
I agree. She is.
And I still don't really know. Okay, so she took, I'm assuming, Mr. Sinister copied Magneto's magnetism off of him and gave it to her, is what I'm assuming. I understood what happened, but I still don't see her. She's doing more. Her powers are more psychic before that point.
Yeah, but she never used the I think it's just more she absorbs more of his strength than his power.
Maybe. I mean,
she never used the magnetism.
Her energy
wave is
a different color.
Yeah,
it's more. It's less glow. You can kind of see